Hello again and welcome to our latest monthly update, this time covering figures for the month of September. During September, we saw some 2.6 million visits from overseas, that being a 1% increase on September of last year. While those visitors were here, they spent just more than £1.9 billion. That's a 17% increase on September last year. So what does that mean for the picture covering the first 9 months of this year? Well, the volume of inbound tourism is still on a par with last year, but how much visitors spent has increased by 5%. We have new information relating to the Olympic and Paralympic Games. During the period July to September, there were some 470,000 visits from overseas, primarily to watch, participate in, or to work at the Olympic or Paralympic Games. In addition to that, there were a further 210,000 visits from overseas that weren't primarily for the Games, but did involve watching a ticketed event. So in total, we now know that during those 3 months, there were some 680,000 visits from overseas, either primarily for the Games or involving seeing a ticketed event during the Games. So why have we seen such a rapid growth in how much visitors are spending in the last month or two? A number of explanations emerge. Certainly we are seeing holiday visits last somewhat longer than is normally the case, and clearly the longer people are in a destination, the more they are likely to spend. Equally, we saw that during the first half of September, average spend was much higher than it would normally be. And if we look at visitors who were here just for the Games, the amount that they were spending was roughly twice as much as those who were not here primarily for the Games. We've also been doing some analysis as to the global economic outlook, because how well off people are really impacts on how much international travel they undertake. Starting with the Eurozone bloc of countries, we can see that it really was 2009 during which the recession was at its worst right across the Eurozone. Since then, Germany has recovered very strongly, but a number of indebted countries such as Italy, Portugal, Greece and Spain have continued to see their economies contract. Interestingly, however, one country that has received a bailout, Ireland, is now seeing quite rapid economic growth. Turning our attention to the Asia-Pacific region, we can see that again 2009 was the weakest year, but we also see that Australia completely avoided recession and has been growing very strongly across the last few years. The story in Japan is somewhat different, hit hard by the economic recession, but also impacted by the earthquake and subsequent tsunami in 2011. Finally, looking at the Gulf region, it's striking just to see how rapidly the Qatari economy has been growing of late, but many of these economies are actually quite small. What is really encouraging is that the most populous country within this region, that's Saudi Arabia, has seen really sustained economic growth throughout the last few years. And visitors from all of these countries spend much more than does the typical visitor coming to Britain. Next time we will have provisional figures for October, and we'll also take a look at visitor nationalities. So until then, bye-bye.